Hey guys, I am here again with an update on my heart. Okay, speaking of which, I'm having an episode right now. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry. So I'm back. Yesterday I pushed my heart too far, so it's been a little sensitive. Um, so, anyways, the last time I talked to you guys, it was January, and I just gotten an MRI, and since then I may have been covering up the microphone. Thanks. Sorry if I was. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Um, since then I've had two appointments. One was for genetics testing, which wasn't actually any testing. It was just basically talking about my family and um, going over everything. And um, I'm the first one to ever have this in my family, but it could still be genetic. Could still pass it on to my children, so that's kind of something to think about later when I'm actually thinking about having kids seriously. So, that's basically all we covered at that appointment, was just talking about my family and talking about like the tiny bit of risk that there could be that I could pass it to my children. Um, so that's why I didn't update you guys after that appointment, because it wasn't much of an appointment. I didn't really learn anything huge at that appointment. But then I had an appointment, I think it was April 20th, so a couple weeks ago. Pretty recently, I guess. And that was obviously a Zoom meeting. We got to meet my new cardiologist, which I don't remember if I mentioned that before, but the cardiologist I started with left to go down to Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, work down there. Anyways, the point is she's gone, and now I have a new cardiologist. So we got to meet him. We got to talk a little bit, and kind of go over everything again that my last cardiologist had gone over, but then he also gave like his insight. Um, so I did tell him about these new, we're calling them spells, these new spells I've been having. So an episode is like the symptoms that I told my, um, just like my well visit doctor, my pediatrician, I guess, at first, which is when I would exert myself, um, I would, like, my heart would start beating really fast, and then that'd cause my chest to start hurting, which would make me feel like I couldn't breathe. And so that's what I told my doctor originally. So those we call episodes. And then um, I have spells, which happened the first time it happened. I was at work. It had been a long day. And it was like near the end of my shift. I was just like, I was tired, and there wasn't really anything for me to be doing because it was so close to the end of my shift that there were people already coming in to cover me. So I was just standing around, like, I hadn't done anything to really exert myself that I remember. I don't think I had, it was a slow day anyways, um, so I was standing there, and I suddenly felt really, like, lightheaded, and I thought I was going to pass out. I've never passed out before, so I don't really know what it feels like, but that was just the first thought that came into my head. I was like, am I going to pass out? Like, I didn't know why it was happening. I ended up just like gripping the counter next to me, and then like taking a couple breaths, and then I was fine. I like stood there for a while, and my brother saw me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm fine." And then um I was like, "I think so." Like, I just felt lightheaded. I thought I was gonna pass out. Like, but it passed. So I was like, I'm just gonna go drink something, like, because I thought maybe like my blood sugar was down. Maybe I was just dehydrated. I didn't really know. So I just went and drank the lemonade that I had. Um, so then um, it continued to happen, little tiny spells. It wouldn't be it wasn't that big of a deal. I still have them, and basically they're just little like lightheaded for like a not even like a second. Like it's very little amount of time, and then I'm just like, whoa, that was weird. Like shake it off and keep going on with my life. But those are interesting, and I didn't really think much of them. I was just like, oh, I'll tell my doctor when we meet with him. And then I don't remember what day it is. I wish I had the dates in front of me. But one night I was trying to fall asleep. It was pretty I was lying down. I was actually like I had my eyes closed. I was ready, completely like ready for bed. I was almost asleep, and I just felt like my brain shut down for a second, is the best way I can explain it. And since I was trying to fall asleep, I was like, whoa, that didn't feel like sleep. Like, I like came out of it so quickly that I was just like, oh, that was weird. Like, did I fall asleep for a second? I didn't really think much of it because I was like kind of unconscious already. Um, then, uh, so then, I don't know. I remember what days they were, but I don't remember the dates. I don't know how soon after this was. But it was a Wednesday night. I was sitting up in my bed. I was reading my book before bed. It was pretty late at night. So I I was like fully conscious. Like obviously I was tired because it was late at night and I was like ready for bed right after I finished the chapter of my book. But um I was like completely upright and I felt I'm trying to remember. I have a headache that occasionally comes that um I don't know. It's an interesting thing and I don't really know how to describe it, but it started with a headache, this more severe spell. Um so I had a headache and then I can't remember. Sometimes I have this headache for days and I don't remember if the headache had already been there. So if I just like didn't think much of it and I just had a spell. See, you guys can't even tell. Like I don't think I go anywhere. It's very little. But this one it really scared me because I felt this cold rush over my head and then like I was just like I must have like shivered or I guess. I don't know. It's very blurry because it was late at night and then it's also like I was kind of like like my brain shut down. Like I don't know how else to explain it. It doesn't really make sense, but um and then I felt like a warm rush come over that pretty quickly after, I think. And I don't remember if I don't know if it was like a regular temperature and it was just like went from cold to warm, but it kind of felt a little warmer than that. Like I felt like I was like it kind of like a fever. Like it was like warmer than I should be. But then I started crying. Like I feel like that's pretty like I feel like that's justified. I started crying and I started praying because I really like I was like I don't want to die right now. Like I wasn't even thinking like I'm not really scared of death because I know where I'm going and I'm not like really worried about it, but I was like this would be a terrible way to find me because I was like it's late at night. Who knows like my family doesn't know when I go to sleep. I could very well like be sleeping in the next day and they wouldn't know and then like it would get very late and they'd be like I have to be up by 9 a.m. I don't know if they'd remember this, but I have to be up by 9 a.m. because that's when I take my medication for my heart. But I don't know if they would even think of that. But like I was like I don't want them to like think, "Oh, she's just sleeping in late," and then come and find me and I'm dead in my bed. Like that'd be a terrible way. So I started crying. I was like, "Please, Lord, don't kill me. I don't want to be dead." Like I don't want to. I was really thinking of my family's sake, not to make me sound like, "Oh, I'm such an angel," but I wasn't. just to clarify, I'm not scared of death. Like, um, but anyways, that's what was going through my mind at that time. So we told my doctor about that, and he said, um, well, I don't remember exactly what he said. The point was, he gave me a heart monitor that I'm wearing for 30 days because, obviously, I'm not really going anywhere. I'm still working because I'm essential. I'm a fast food worker. You guys, I don't feel essential, but I am. So I'm working in a fast food restaurant, so I'm still working. But that's the only place I go really, besides like for walks sometimes. It's not like I'm going to church, or that's pretty much all I do besides, I don't know, my life's pretty boring. Honestly, you guys, I was like, my life feels the same when we got quarantined. I was like, I mean, I don't go to church, that's pretty much it. Like, anyways, so I'm wearing a heart monitor currently. Here, I'm gonna see if I can, like, there, you can see it there. That's one of them. I have 3 patches on me. The other 2 are like on under my shirt, which I'm not going to show you for obvious reasons. But I have 2 more. So I have 3. I think I already said this. I'm sorry. I keep repeating myself. I have 3 patches. And then I have this pendant here, which I assume will be flipped around. I don't know if you guys will be able to read that or not, but it says symptom. So I push this button when I have a symptom, a spell, or an episode. And then they gave me a smartphone, so this will pop up, and I can also hit symptom on this, but I usually just hit it on the pendant. And then it'll pop up, and will have a list of, like, I can choose the symptom that it was, where I was, and what I was doing. So I've been wearing that since Saturday, and I will be wearing it for 30 days or else till I have one of those I think I'm about to die spells. So I'm kind of hoping, as scary as those spells are, I'm kind of hoping I'll have one soon, because this monitor isn't horribly uncomfortable, but it's not comfortable. It's not a part of me, so it feels weird. But I have gotten used to it. It's easy to sleep with, like, this blue flashing light on the pendant. Let me see if I can hold it up long enough so it'll flash. This flashing light on it seems very bright when I'm about to go to sleep. There we go, so it flashed once. But I am able to just put that under the covers. Haven't really had any trouble sleeping with it on, and I do get to replace the patches, and obviously take it off when I shower. So, like, I have taken the patches off and replaced them twice. I've showered twice since I put it on. And I don't remember if I told you, I wore a Holter monitor before. So this isn't anything, like, super new. Except that I had to keep a diary, and I didn't have the smartphone. I don't have a diary this time, I just have the smartphone. But with the diary, I had to track all my symptoms that way, which was tough because I couldn't do it while I was at work because I didn't bring the diary to work. The only thing so far, I've only worked 3 times since I got this on, and 2 of the times my brother was managing. So I told him about it. Well, obviously, like, he knows about it. It's pretty hard not to notice that I have this huge pendant on my jeans. But I was like, so if you see me, like, on my phone, I'm not on my phone. I'm just putting in my symptoms. Because I would never do that. Like, I would go into the crew room if I was going to be on my phone. And only when it's slow. I'm a good employee, you guys. So I haven't had much trouble with, like, putting in my symptoms while I was at work yet. I did have a little trouble last night. I guess I should tell you this, because, as I mentioned before, I went too far with I was pushing my heart too much last night. So I was working 4 to 7 last night, and from like 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., it was crazy busy. Like, we had a drive-through line out to the road, which is like has been our normal because no one really comes in for takeout, even though they can. But so there was a really long line, and I was just going and going and going, and I felt like pressure in my chest, but I was like, I'm not gonna stop right now, just stop dead in my tracks. Like, I'm not going to stop and take a breather, because like my coworkers know, but I also don't want to like showcase it and be like, oh yeah, I have a heart condition, so I can't do anything. Like, so I try to do everything that I'm told to do, but there are some jobs obviously that are too heavy, or like, that's pretty much it. Too heavy is my biggest problem. But then, like, I was going really fast, and I was right by the fry dump, which it obviously keeps the fries warm as well. So I was like overheated, so then that didn't help. And then at the end of my shift, it was still pretty busy, and I was getting ice for the drive-through, which the ice is like a very big bucket that you have to fill up with ice, and I have trouble carrying it usually. So then I was pushing my heart too far with that, and then I kept like walking, and I was like, I'm not stopping, like, I can't stop right now. I have to go. And then I was also like, it was like 5 after 7, and I was like, I'm supposed to be out right now. I'm supposed to be gone. So I didn't really I didn't stop, because I was like, my dad's gonna be like, where is she? If he's just waiting in the parking lot for 10 extra minutes and I'm in the restaurant dying. So I wasn't dying. I'm sorry. I'm very dramatic about this. I'm not dying. But anyways, that was all my emotions. And then, so I got in the car. Obviously, it's like an 8-minute drive home, and I was able to like sit and breathe, and I like didn't speak, because obviously it's not like every time I speak my heart starts having an episode, but that is like a little extra effort. And if my heart's already hurting, I just was like sitting there silently concentrating on breathing, and I thought I was fine. I came out of the car, and then I think I'm trying to remember. I went down to my room, and I started feeling like a little pressure in my chest. I'm sorry, this video's getting long. Another long one. Anyways, I started feeling pressure in my chest, and it wasn't super painful, but it was like, this isn't normal. I don't know. It was an interesting feeling. Anyways, I've just kind of been having a little extra trouble last night. I think it definitely helped to be like lying down for 8 to 9 hours while I was asleep. But then, I don't know. I was having like weird trouble. At the beginning of the video, when I said I was having an episode, all that was from walking to, sorry, I don't know what my hand's doing. Was walking over to let my dog back in from outside. My room is right across from the back door, for those of you that don't know how my house is set up. So it wasn't like any real effort. It's just, it's all up in the air. I don't really understand it. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here, because it's like 20 minutes now. But I did want to say thank you to those who are praying for me, and I have been feeling better. I also forgot to mention I upped my medicine, so I have been having fewer episodes. I think because of that, I've started pushing myself too far a little from time to time, and then it gets a little worse. But I have been doing better, and thank you for those who are praying for me, and thanks for watching. And I'm sorry this is 20 minutes again, but hopefully you guys can find something to do while you watch it, because anyways, Thank you, and goodbye.